It's kind of amazing when you think about it. Even while we're asleep, our bodies get a break from digesting food.
Yeah, that nightly pause is a mini fast most of us experience without even, thinking about it.
Exactly. But what we intentionally stretched that period? Could extending that natural break offer our bodies a chance to tap into some deeper restorative processes?
That's a really intriguing question. And, well, that's precisely what we're diving deep into today.
We've got this fascinating document by Alice Morgana. It explores the ins and outs of water fasting, specifically looking at it for weight loss.
Right. And this source takes a really comprehensive look. It goes beyond just the practical steps.
It looks at the potential upsides and, crucially, the things you need to be aware of, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What really grabbed me was how the document positions water fasting. It's not presented as some quick fix.
No, it's more like an opportunity, a chance to allow your body to sort of recalibrate, maybe kickstart its own healing mechanisms.
It's like the body's own self-repair mode gets a chance to shine. That's the key takeaway.
It's about creating an internal environment where the body's inherent ability to restore itself can become, well, more active.
Yeah. So if you've been curious about water fasting, but maybe felt a bit lost in all the information out there,
And this deep dive is definitely for you. We're going to pull out the core ideas from this document, aiming for those aha moments.
we'll be looking at what really separates fasting from that not-so-good state of starvation.
And really dig into this concept of our body's built-in capacity to heal. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does. How can simply hitting pause on food intake trigger such, well, profound shifts within the body? That's a big part of what we want to unpack.
Our mission today is pretty straightforward. Extract the key insights on water fasting for weight loss, straight from Alice Morgana's document, and make it clear and understandable for you.
Okay, let's get into it.
So according to our source, what exactly is water fasting?
Well, in essence, water fasting, which the document also calls therapeutic fasting, involves abstaining from all food and drinks except pure water.
Nothing else, just water.
Just water. The underlying principle is allowing the body to draw upon its own stored nutritional reserves.
And the document emphasizes that during this time, the body's potential for healing is believed to increase, along with detoxification.
Precisely. The idea is that by removing the constant demands of digestion, the body can redirect its energy towards, well, cleansing itself of waste products and potentially returning to a healthier state.
That makes intuitive sense, like giving your internal machinery a break to catch up on maintenance. What about vitamins, though? Wouldn't you become deficient?
That's a common question. The document suggests that for properly conducted shorter fasts, vitamin supplementation isn't typically needed right away.
Oh, really? Why is that?
The reasoning is that the body's cells are thought to maintain sufficient reserves, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals. Assuming, of course, the person starts in generally good health and has consulted their doctor.
Right, that doctor consultation point keeps coming up. So it's relying on stores you already have? What about juice cleanses? Are they the same thing?
No, not according to this document. It makes a clear distinction. Juice fasting doesn't provide the same benefits as a pure water fast
Why not?
because the body doesn't enter that same deep fasting state. The source specifically points out that the anti-inflammatory benefits linked to water fasting are lessened when you're consuming juices.
Okay, so the purity of just water is key for those specific advantages. And the document talks about breaking down waste, fat, even plaque and abnormal cells during this time. Sounds like a major internal spring clean.
It does. The theory is that when the body isn't getting external fuel, it prioritizes breaking down less essential tissues and, accumulated waste.
Now, are there different ways to do this? The document mentions a couple of methods.
Yes, two main approaches are outlined. First is prolonged water fasting. This can range from 3 days right up to, 40 days.
Yeah.
The document also calls this therapeutic fasting.
40 days just on water. That definitely sounds like something needing very close medical supervision.
Absolutely. The other approach is intermittent fasting.
Ah, I've heard a lot about that.
Right. It involves cycling between periods of fasting and regular eating,
Brip.
or restricting your eating to specific time windows within a day,
Examples.
like 24-hour fasts, water only for a full day, then eat normally the next, or the 231 method, 23 hours fasting, 1 hour eating window.
Okay, so more adaptable, perhaps. Now, beyond the physical stuff like weight loss, the document also mentions improvements in psychological and mental well-being, That's interesting.
It is. The idea is that fasting can lead to a more holistic improvement,
Yep.
affecting not just the physical body, but maybe mental clarity, emotional state too.
Could be linked to those metabolic shifts and detox processes.
Potentially, yes. And we keep coming back to this idea of the body's self-healing abilities. How does water fasting supposedly help that? The document suggests water is crucial for flushing out waste. And by stopping food intake, you remove obstacles hindering the body's natural cleansing.
So you free up energy normally used for digestion.
And that energy can then be redirected towards repair and healing. It's like an internal reallocation of resources.
Makes sense. Giving the digestive system a much-needed break to rest and restore itself. Especially helpful for people with digestive issues, I imagine.
Exactly. And there's a really insightful point in the document about loss of appetite.
Yeah.
Recognizing it not as something to fight, but maybe as a natural signal from the body to consider a pause in eating.
That's a different perspective. We often feel we have to eat, right? Okay, so water fasting has interesting possibilities, but who should and shouldn't consider it, according to this source?
Well, the general stance is that healthy individuals without chronic diseases can do water fasts.
Yeah.
But, and this is a big but anyone with a pre-existing health condition absolutely needs to consult a medical professional first.
That's critical. Can't just jump in, especially with underlying health issues.
Yeah.
It does say supervised fasting might even help reverse problems from some diseases.
That's a significant claim, and it really highlights why medical supervision is so vital in certain cases. The document also touches on fear of fasting, suggesting it often comes from myths or lack of understanding.
Which is why we're doing this, right? To clarify. Now, there's a pretty long list of conditions where it's generally not recommended. We should probably cover those.
Absolutely. According to the source, it's generally not advisable for people with eating disorders, like anorexia or bulimia,
Okay.
or issues with blood sugar, like hypoglycemia or diabetes, enzyme deficiencies, advanced kidney or liver disease, alcoholism, thyroid problems.
It keeps going.
Yeah. AIDS, tuberculosis, other infectious diseases, advanced cancer, lupus, and a range of heart conditions, established heart disease, failure, arrhythmias, history of heart attack, valve issues, cardiomyopathy,
Wow, that's comprehensive.
also vascular disease or poor circulation, post-transplant individuals, Alzheimer's or other organic brain syndromes, anyone pregnant or breastfeeding, and people on essential medications.
So a lot of caution needed. And it repeats that even healthy people should talk to a doctor first.
Definitely. It's about being informed and safe.
Okay. Now, key distinction. Fasting versus starvation. They sound similar, but the document draws a clear line.
Yes, and it's fundamental. Fasting is described as the initial phase, using stored reserves like fats, proteins, carbs. Starvation only happens after those reserves are gone.
So fasting is using your fuel tank. Starvation is running on empty, which is harmful.
Exactly. Fasting has potential benefits, clearing out pathology, rejuvenation. Starvation leads to degeneration.
How does the body manage during fasting?
There are biochemical adaptations. The body gets efficient at burning fat for fuel while conserving vital tissues.
So first it uses glucose from a liver glycogen.
Right, for about a day. Then muscle might provide some glucose. But the big shift is towards using stored fat, breaking it down into fatty acids.
And that leads to ketones, right? Around day 3.
Correct. The liver starts producing ketones from fat. And the brain can use these ketones for energy.
Which is important because
It significantly reduces the body's need for glucose, which in turn helps minimize the breakdown of muscle tissue. It's a clever metabolic switch.
so total fasts might actually lead to more fat loss and less muscle loss compared to just cutting calories or juice fasts. That's surprising.
It is. The shift into ketosis is key. The document also says you don't typically feel that constant hunger during a true fast because your body is actively using its stored energy.
Addresses a big worry. The source suggests average reserves could last at least 40 days, though it recommends much shorter fasts, weeks maybe, with medical advice.
That 40-day figure really puts fasting versus starvation in perspective. It does mention initial hunger pangs can happen, especially if you're used to eating often, but they often subside quickly, particularly with good preparation.
Preparation seems key again. Okay, let's shift to this idea of fasting as an animal instinct and human heritage. Interesting angle.
It is. The document notes how animals often fast instinctively hibernation, mating season, especially when sick or injured. They just withdraw and stop eating.
And it compares that to humans losing appetite when unwell, suggesting that's our instinct too, but we often ignore it.
Right. The source even suggests eating while sick might hinder natural detox processes like mucus production. Fasting might free up energy for healing, and improve autophagy.
Autophagy.
Yeah, the body's process of cleaning up and renewing damaged cells, kind of cellular housekeeping.
Fascinating. And it links human fasting to historical food scarcity before agriculture.
Exactly, an adaptation for survival. Our bodies evolved to store energy as fat and use it when food was scarce. While modern processed food diets contribute to chronic diseases, this innate fasting ability can still be beneficial.
It shows our resilience. There's a stroking quote in there, something like, "A little starvation might help a sick person more than medicine."
It's a strong statement, reflecting the document's belief in the body's healing power when given the chance, including rest from digestion.
So it has biological roots. What about the history of intentional water fasting for health?
The document traces it way back. Beyond animal instinct, the first documented human use as treatment seems to be ancient Greece and the Middle East.
So long ago, this idea of the body's hidden physician.
Yes, that innate healing power. The document lists an amazing array of historical figures who advocated for it.
Like who?
Hippocrates advised it during critical illness. Aristotle, Plato for physical and mental efficiency, Asclepiades, Thessalus, Celsus, Galen, Avicenna, Socrates, even Pythagoras reportedly fasted 40 days before exams.
40 days. Serious focus. Also mentions ancient Egypt, Arab physicians like Plutarch, then Paracelsus in the 16th century calling it the greatest remedy.
Quite an endorsement. It continues through the 18th, 19th centuries. Doctors like Nicolai, von Seeland, Mayer, Mahler, all recommending it for cleansing and restoring balance.
Feels like this knowledge was maybe overshadowed recently, though it notes more scientific research in the past century.
Right. Deep historical roots, but also a growing body of modern scientific and clinical work. It mentions the natural hygiene movement in the U.S., nature cure in the U.K.
And it's still practiced.
Yes. Ongoing therapeutic fasting in Germany. Naturheilkunde. Fasting retreats popular in Europe. Growing interest in the U.S. as alternative medicine, alongside research. The point is, there's significant historical and growing scientific backing.
So not just a fad. Now, let's get specific. Cardiovascular disease and high blood pressure. Major concerns.
They are. The document links modern lifestyle and unhealthy diets to clogged blood vessels, leading to heart attacks, strokes. It suggests wire fasting plus diet changes can help prevent and even reverse these, and high blood pressure too.
A big claim. It argues medications often just manage symptoms, not the root cause diet.
Exactly. It contrasts cultures with high-fiber, low-fat plant diets where these issues are rare, with Western diets high in fat and animal protein. The idea is fasting, then switching to a whole food plant-based diet should reduce symptoms.
So fast first, then maintain with diet. It even suggests heart disease is reversible this way, and maybe an option to explore before surgery, with the doctor's okay, of course.
The proposed mechanism is plaque removal during the fast, allowing healing. Lasting effects depend on maintaining the healthy diet long term. But it acknowledges changing habits is the big challenge for many.
The hardest part. But feeling better can be motivating. Okay, what about diabetes? Another huge issue.
The document states quite boldly that type 2 diabetes is considered reversible. It gives some concerning U.S. stats: prevalence, prediabetes, leading cause of death, rising cases.
Sobering numbers. And the complications: heart disease, kidney failure, amputations, blindness. Increased risk for smokers, too.
It paints a picture linked to lifestyle. Explains type 2 is ineffective insulin use, often developing slowly. Briefly covers type 1, insufficient production, and gestational diabetes.
The key difference being production versus resistance. But both mean high blood glucose, causing damage.
Exactly. It mentions an experiment where high-fat diets quickly raise blood sugar in healthy students, showing how fat can hinder insulin use. Notes high insulin in overweight people, strong link between weight and type 2.
So diet is huge. It emphasizes a healthy plant-based diet. Veggies, fruits, grains, legumes. Can reverse type 2, reduce medication needs, lists foods to avoid refined, processed stuff.
And this is where water fasting comes in, is potentially very helpful. Cited studies show improved insulin function, weight loss, pancreas restoration, sometimes full reversal of type 2. But big caution, no abrupt fasting for diabetics, healthy eating and weight loss first.
Very important caveat. And the crucial warning: diabetics must consult their physician before any major diet change or fasting due to medication adjustments needed to prevent dangerous low blood sugar.
Absolutely essential. Critical safety point. Okay, next, autoimmune diseases.
The document links these strongly to digestive tract issues, specifically leaky gut syndrome.
Right, it references studies linking rheumatoid arthritis to increased intestinal permeability. The theory: if the gut lining is too permeable, Undigested proteins leak into the bloodstream, potentially triggering an abnormal immune response,
The gut barrier breaks down, letting things in that shouldn't be there.
leading to inflammation, a primary immune response causing disease and pain. And fasting is positioned as a potent anti-inflammatory tool, maybe more so than drugs.
So combining fasting with healthy diet changes is key for healing, remission.
That's the suggestion. For rheumatoid arthritis, potential pain relief, halting joint degeneration with consulted fasts. The idea is fasting rests the digestive and immune systems, calming inflammation. Proper fasting plus diet change offers the best chance for remission. Also advises avoiding dairy, refined sugar, reducing fat soils for inflammation.
Significant dietary shifts again aligns with the whole plant-based focus, now being overweight.
The document notes overweight individuals with chronic illness might consider fasting as a last resort, if they even know about it. Highlights potential for premature death if issues aren't addressed.
It's quite critical of physicians who might discourage fasting due to ignorance.
Yes. It stresses benefits require permanent diet changes before and after fasting. It's skeptical of low-calorie diets for long-term success. Suggests switching to whole grains, beans, veggies, fruits is key for permanent weight management and disease prevention. A fundamental shift.
That's the core message. Now, headaches and migraines. Very common.
Document frames headaches as a signal something's wrong, often leftover toxins. Suggests painkillers mask the issue, add to the load. Retained toxins in the nervous system are seen as a major cause.
So a headache is the body trying to lower waste, a positive sign of self-correction.
That's the view presented. Contrast conventional view, migraines only suppressed, with the idea that a low-protein, natural plant-based diet, no refined sweets, can lead to recovery in a month, without meds.
What if you get headaches during a fast?
Advice is right. Reiterates, fasting is not starvation. Safe duration depends on individual energy stores, weight. Body uses non-essential tissues, first fat, some muscle digestive enzymes. Initial weight loss around a pound a day.
And hormonal metabolic changes happen to conserve essential mass, energy mainly from fat, sparing muscle.
Exactly. Day 1.
Yeah.
Liver glycogen breaks down for glucose, depleted by end of day.
Day 2.
Glycogen low. Muscles, organs use fatty acids from fat tissue. But brain needs lots of glucose, so body starts making glucose from fat components and muscle tissue. And crucially, ketone production is triggered.
Then day 3.
Liver generates lots of ketones. Central nervous system uses them, reducing glucose need. This spares muscle protein. Without ketosis, much more muscle breakdown would be needed for glucose.
How long does that shift take?
Ketosis takes about 48-72 hours. Once adapted, there are benefits for brain function, psychological, physical health. But because these are big shifts.
Physician monitoring is crucial for prolonged fasts. Daily checks advised.
Yes. Blood pressure, pulse, blood tests for hydration, electrolytes, urine tests for ketones. Essential oversight.
What about specific test results during fasting?
Uric acid might rise temporarily, usually not a major concern. Hemoglobin might rise slightly, sign of dehydration. Potential electrolyte depletion.
But sodium, potassium, chloride usually stay stable.
Generally, yes. But it highlights a critical potassium level below 3.2 as a signal to break the fast. Monitoring electrolytes is important.
Good clear marker. Okay, let's talk benefits. The document contrasts fasting with conventional medicine.
Yes, conventional often means lifelong meds for things like high blood pressure, diabetes, autoimmune issues, managing symptoms. Fasting is presented as creating an environment for the body to mobilize and eliminate harmful metabolic byproducts, addressing the cause.
So, meds suppress, fasting helps eliminate, allowing natural healing, potential for rapid toxin mobilization and noticeable changes.
That's the idea. It critiques Western medicine's focus on symptoms, drugs, surgery. Suggests fasting plus healthy diet can improve liver function, even with prior damage.
Organ repair, that's significant. Also strengthening the immune system after 4 days. Stem cells, new white blood cells.
Interesting potential benefit mentioned, yes. Now, specifically weight loss, since that's our focus.
How does it work during the fast?
Different phases. Body enters fat metabolism within 3 days, increasingly relies on it longer term. Fat breaks down, ketones produced, stored fat consumed, weight loss around 1 pound per day.
And ketosis protects brain and body cells, framed as safe, controlled, natural weight loss.
But revisits the last resort idea. Lack of awareness, maybe discouragement from uninformed doctors. Stresses again. Permanent lifestyle changes are critical for sustained weight loss. Low-cal diets aren't the long-term answer. Natural diet and strategic fasting are.
Fasting as a tool, lifestyle as the foundation. What about detoxification?
Explains toxins get stored in fat cells. During fasting, fat is metabolized, releasing these toxins for elimination. This potentially improves chronic conditions.
Makes sense. Burn the fat, release what's stored. Another benefit. Reduced inflammation.
Yes. Claims dramatic reduction in inflammation and pain within 3 to 7 days. Notes decrease in inflammatory markers like CRP, cytokines. Particularly beneficial for autoimmune inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis.
So, tackling inflammation directly. Lastly, autophagy and potential tumor reduction.
Autophagy self-digestion, body breaking down old damaged cells. Documents suggest fasting enhances this, potentially improving conditions against some cancers, lymphoma, breast, growths, cysts, fibroids. Even mentions relief from neuroses, depression, anxiety. But these are big claims needing more research.
Absolutely. Areas for rigorous science. Okay, if someone's considering this, how to prepare. Preparation is key, right?
Heavily emphasized. No impulsive fasting, especially after unhealthy eating. It's a major decision needing planning.
Not a quick fix for overindulgence. Experienced healthy people might do short fasts alone.
Maybe, if they understand risk benefits. But still strongly advises physician consults, especially with health issues or for longer fasts.
What about the length?
Beginners should start small intermittent fasting first. Progress to 1 3-day fasts. Then maybe consider 2 4-week prolonged fasts, but only under strict medical supervision, especially with chronic conditions.
And body preparation. Dietary changes beforehand.
Yes, recommends weeks of whole food, plant-based diet, no animal products, added oil, salt, sugar. Minimize cravings, withdrawal. Lists foods to avoid. Meat, dairy, eggs, processed food, caffeine, sugar, alcohol, junk. Suggests maybe a week or 2 of raw foods first. Gradual reduction of addictive substances advised.
It's a whole process. Vegetable juices before.
Recommends green veggie juices 1-2 days before prolonged fasts to cleanse digestion. Limit fruit juice due to sugar. Water should be filtered or distilled, not tap carbonated.
Environment matters too. Calm, supportive space.
Crucial. Clean, bright, ventilated, peaceful place for resting. Discuss only with supportive people. Schedule it during free time. Emphasizes rest is vital. Warns of potential detox symptoms first 3 days.
And monitoring.
Physician consult for prolonged fasts. Suggests home monitoring tools, BP, glucose, ketones, and fast only when real hunger returns.
Very holistic. How to actually start.
Don't just stop eating abruptly. Start with small changes. Cut sugar, processed foods, caffeine for a few days, switch to fruits, vigor, juices. Gradually reduce meal sizes.
Gentle transition, intermittent fasting as a step.
Yes, 1-day fast, 1-day feast helps body adapt. Sample 4-week plan given. Week 1, skip breakfast. WK2, skip lunch 2. WK3, reduce dinner. WK4, start water fast.
Practical steps. Once fasting, what are the key how-tos?
Drink plenty of water. About 3 liters men, 2.2 women. Pure water only. Spread it out. Don't gulp huge amounts at once. Avoid dehydration, but don't overdo it. Electrolyte balance.
What about hunger pangs?
Drink 1-2 glasses of water. Lie down, rest. Distractions like reading, meditation help.
And exercise.
Avoid intense exercise. Gentle yoga if it feels right, main thing. Listen to your body. Avoid strenuous activity. It's about rest.
Okay, now breaking the fast sounds just as critical.
Absolutely. Crucial to reintroduce food gradually after prolonged fast. Digestive enzymes need to reactivate.
How to start?
Very easily digestible foods. Watermelon orange slice, diluted lemon orange juice, small amounts every 2 hours initially. Diluted green leafy veg juice is good too. After about 4 days of this, can start 2 to 3 small light meals.
And there's a food hierarchy based on digestion ease.
Yes, starts top, fruit juices, veg juices, raw ripe fruits, yogurt, raw leafy greens, veg soups, cooked veg, raw non-leafy veg, cooked grains, beans, milk, dairy, eggs, fish meat, then everything else.
Start at the top, work down slowly over days. Introduce one thing at a time.
Exactly. Observe reactions, avoid heavy meals right after. Shorter fasts allow quicker return to normal diet, but longer fasts need slower transition, maybe 1 to 4 days for digestion to normalize.
Slow and careful reintroduction is vital. Okay, finally, signs and symptoms during the fast.
Most initial symptoms usually mild, harmless. Many feel fine. Hunger withdrawal often gone by day 2.
What might people notice?
Slight pulse drop, less heart work, feeling colder, hormonal shifts, maybe brief nausea vomiting day 1 or 2. Headaches possible initially, detox withdrawal, though some migraine sufferers find relief later. Initial insomnia sometimes.
And the healing or fasting crises? Symptoms? Signs of waste elimination.
Yeah. Coated tongue, dry mouth, bad breath taste, darker cloudy urine, itchy skin, lightheadedness, fainting. Lie down immediately. Lower back pain, kidney detox. generally seen as positive signs of cleansing.
But crucial reminder, avoid prolonged fasting without monitoring supervision. Get medical help for complications. It aims for health, but has risks. Be careful, regular physician checks. Tracking progress, like weight, helps.
Absolutely essential. Safety first, always.
So, to recap our deep dive, water fasting is presented as a tool for weight loss, maybe some health conditions, but always with strong emphasis on medical guidance, especially with existing issues.
We explore the key difference, fasting versus starvation, the body's amazing self-healing potential, and the importance of proper preparation and refeeding.
What's truly compelling is this idea of the body's ability to adapt and restore itself when we ease the constant demand of eating.
Yeah, considering the long history and the body's inherent capacity really makes you wonder, how might understanding these natural processes empower you in making informed choices about your own health, maybe beyond conventional routes?
Definitely something to mull over. Raises questions about our relationship with food, our body's resilience.
It really does.
And finally, our essential disclaimer. This deep dive is based solely on the information in the document we discussed. Always, always consult qualified healthcare professionals for personalized medical advice before changing your diet or health regimen, especially before considering something significant like water fasting.
Your health is the priority. Make informed, safe decisions.